Hello, this is Mike Tackett here, Weed and Freak 976, whatever you want to call me. Yes, I'm stretching because I just took a nap. What do I see when I get up? My friend Justin on Facebook actually showed me a link, and I had to go to it, folks, because he's my good friend, and I like him a lot. And what do I read? This headline from the Raw Story. Mosque arsonist tells court, I only know what I hear on Fox News. Facepalm coming because the guy admit that a guy from Indiana here, an Indiana man convicted of setting fire to a mosque in Ohio told a judge on Wednesday that he committed the crimes because Fox News and conservative talk radio had convinced him that most Muslims are terrorists. Everybody's like, well, that's probably not a whole lot. Okay, here we go. Addicting info. A study by UCLA Chicano Research Center indicates that conservative talk show and talk radio shows cause social media reverberations that promote hate speech towards minorities, women, and basically anyone who isn't a white male. There's a graph that's in here. Anti-federalism. Number of guests aligned with that position, 47. Percentage of all scheduled guests, 23.6. Glenn Beck, 7 times. John and Ken, 3. Michael Savage, 25. Sean Hannity, 12. For Republican, 38. Number of guests, let's go through it, 19%. Glenn Beck, 11 times. John and Ken, 8. Michael Savage, 9. Sean Hannity, 10 times. Pro-Tea Party, the people with that position, 24. Number of scheduled guests, 12%. Glenn Beck, 5. John and Ken, 8. Michael Savage, 5. The Manatees, 6 times. Anti-Islam, 22 with that position, 11%. Michael Savage, 11. The Manatees, 9. Glenn Beck, twice. Anti-immigration, 17. Percentage of guests, 8.5%. Glenn Beck, 8. John and Ken, 7. Michael Savage, 1. Sean Hannity, 5 times. Anti-Democrat, 13. 6.5%. Glenn Beck, 5. Glenn Beck, 4. Sean Hannity, 5. And Michael Savage, 4. And there's other ones in here saying anti-liberal. I'll leave the link, but I wanted to read you some of this list. You want some more? From Salon.com. The Islamophobia industry also goes to great lengths to sell its message to the public. The difference, though, is that in many cases, the very networks that spread their product are themselves participants in the ruse to whip up public fear of Muslims. This is not a relationship of buyer and seller, where various characters that peddle panic purchase slots on major television networks to plug their merchandise. Rather, it's a relationship of mutual benefit, where ideologies and political converge to advance on the same agenda. Fox News, the American television station that brands itself as fair and balanced, is the epitome of this relationship. It has been for the better part of the last decade at the heart of the public scaremongering about Islam and has become the home for a slew of right-wing activists who regularly inhabit its airwaves to distort the truth to push stereotypes about Muslims. It was little surprise then that a booking institution poll on American values conducted in September 2001 found approximately 2/3 of Republicans, Americans who identified with the Tea Party movement, and Americans who most trusted Fox agreed with the values of Islam are at odds with the values of the United States. Additionally, nearly 6 in 10 Republicans who say they trust Fox also say they believe that American Muslims are trying to establish Islamic law in America. In contrast, the attitudes of Republicans who view other networks fall in line with the general population. But it's not just Fox News. Laura Ingram tried doing an interview. With Daisley Khan, wife of Islam Visual Abdul Rauf, and guess what? She tried to be nice and everything, but then guess this. Soon, though, it would not be fantastic. At least not to Laura Ingram, who, in about-face move, suddenly latched onto the anger and rage being ginned up by Pamela Geller and Robert Spence. Pamela Geller is a very anti-Islamic nut job. I mean, and so is Pat Condell. There's so much anti-Islam, and, you know, for people who are like, well, you're Betty Chris. No, she puts down the Islamic religion because of the way that women are treated, okay? There are things you can point out about the you know, how women are treated, how atheists are treated in the Islamic countries. There are things you can criticize, just like there are things you can criticize about the African American community, the white community, the Latino community. There are things you can criticize and do it in a fair and honest way. But to promote hate, which is what Fox does, this is why I think they're so popular. Everybody's like, why are they number one? Why are they number one? Don't people realize they're full of crap? I think a lot of people subconsciously do. I think the problem is, and I don't know, this is just a guess, I think the problem is they want to latch onto this fear of the Browns, the Islamic people who attacked us on 9/11, when in reality we have more violence committed in this country by right-wing extremist terrorists in this groups in this country who bomb abortion clinics, who bomb churches, and things like that because of their anti, you know, they're against gay marriage and, you know, gays and abortion and stuff. I mean, so, you know, I would like, I mean, I'm going to put links below, but I would love to hear Fox's response to this. Why don't more of their guests bring this up? Because they don't have a lot of guests on there who will bring this up to them, because they either cut their microphone off or they won't let them talk. So, you know, I mean, and I had one of my friends on Facebook, and he's a nice man, I guess, but he was like, why don't you do a story about CNN and Fox News, or CNN and MSNBC and their liberal hate? Number one, if you think CNN and MSNBC are a liberal, dude, you need a clue. You really do. But number two, you never heard of anyone saying, CNN and MSNBC told me to do this. You know, as much as full of crap as I think those two networks are, at least they make an attempt. I mean, you know, well, CNN's got some hate mongers. They do. So they're almost as bad as Fox. But at least MSNBC does have people who will not promote hate mongering. You know, I mean, at least they, and the few nuts that MSNBC did have, they fired. So everybody's like, Michael, you like MSNBC? No. But at least they won't promote hate speech, which is exactly what Fox does. They promote hate speech. And, you know, they like to scare people because they know their network is full of crocking shit. But if you get people who are scared, then you'll get ratings. You'll pull them in. You see? You play off their fears. It's like someone playing off the fears of, oh, I don't know, MRA, who plays off the fear of feminism. You get somebody like Rockin' Mr. E to say feminism is bad, feminism is bad. Well, golly, feminism is bad. You know, you hear it over and over again. You're going to start to believe into some of this crap. So, that is something that we need to talk about. Is like, you know, I remember the woman who said she'd rather die than go get medical treatment. Old Fart Rants did a video on this. I'll put the link to that video below. This was pathetic. She'd rather die than get treatment because of Obamacare. Because Fox, you know, let's face it, the brown guy is going to do something to you old whiteys. It's fear that's being put in people. You know, and like I said, you know, and everybody's like, well, Michael, what happened to your friend? Get back to him real quick. I said, I love my friends. You know, everybody's like, Michael, what do you talk to these people? I'm trying to convince them, you know, like, not everything you hear on Fox News is, you know, it's the gospel. Or not everything that you hear for liberals, not everything you hear on MSNBC is the gospel. I'm trying to help educate people. And I know it's costed me viewers and everything because they're like, Michael, quit getting onto Obama and stuff. No! I am not going to quit getting onto Obama. My channel is called The Truth Teller. Unsubscribe, unfriend and everything if you think my job is to promote Obama or the Democratic Party. If that's what you think, then you've got another sad thing coming. My job is to give you factual information that the media won't give you, that other sources may not tell you, or that you may not know of, but other good sources will tell you. Because maybe a lot of you didn't know this, but an Indiana man, he went crazy. He blew up a mosque in Ohio because Fox and them had convinced him that every Muslim was a terrorist. There's Muslim terrorists, there's African American terrorists, there's white terrorists. There's terrorists of all races, because there's anger and fear in them that they're being oppressed, or that people are doing things to them, or that people are going to attack them. That it's different things that add into that. So that's kind of dumbing down the argument of why people are terrorists and everything like that. No, it doesn't give them a right to do what they do, but why do they do it? Let's try and find that out instead of just demonizing them. Like I said, demonizing all Muslims is bad too. If you want to demonize the terrorists, even I can understand that. But I do think we need to find out what the hell, why are they doing this? Why? Why go nuts like this? Why do this stuff? But Fox is promoting hatred of all Muslims. They're promoting it. They're pushing that fear into their people's brains, or what they call people's brains, and their viewers, that is. And it's embedded in there. It gets in there. You hear it 24/7 when and they also then this But anyway, you hear it. That's all you hear 24/7. It's just like people who would listen if there was a radical left-winger who would say Republicans are evil. Let's kill them. Let's kill them. Let's kill them. Let's kill them. They're gonna do this, do this, do this, do this. And if you hear it so often, then the left-winger would go nuts. If you want to hear arguments why the right is wrong or the left is wrong, fine. Look up stats, look up statistics, look up from factual information. Alright, .govs and .orgs are a lot better than .coms because they're not bought and paid for, okay? Use those type of sites. But we're not going to get nowhere if we keep shouting and screaming at each other, and we're not... This guy killed, but I'm sorry. I am sorry about this. He killed people. He blew up a mosque because Fox and them put it in his brain, and he admitted it. So quit. I'll say this to the few conservative friends I do have on Facebook. Quit quit throwing the blame. I did a video about race where I called out liberals for treating minorities, and they do. A lot of liberals treat minorities like little pets. Stop it. Well, whenever I bring up something that the right does, stop throwing the blame. Like you, like people tell the left, accept responsibility for a network you like, you watch, and you promote. That it promotes hatred. That it promotes, like trying to demonize a whole culture, just because they want to get ratings. That's what this is all about. I bet Michael Shanahan and them hate Islam. I don't know what they really feel. I really don't. The reason I get onto these jackasses is because they use Islam to promote hatred. It's up to you people whether you want to believe the truth or not.